Hello, everybody. I wanted to come to you quickly to talk about three things. First, we had our final vote in the fall 2024 Being a Fan of Disney, the class. And this one was on best or favorite Disney movie. So we'll talk about that. And then I wanted to talk about the big park news update from last week or a week and a half ago. And I will actually be giving a more full description of my time at Walt Disney World and how it coincided with that announcement. It was pretty interesting. And then finally, I wanted to talk about what happened this week on the Disney Plus app. And as you can tell if you're watching on YouTube, the E in Disney is the ESPN E. And so that was the big announcement from this week. So let's get started real quick. First, for the vote, our best or favorite Disney movie for this fall 2024 semester. So typically how this would work is I had four brackets where we would look at Disney animation, Disney live action, Marvel and Star Wars in one bracket, and then Pixar in one bracket. We've already done a vote on Marvel and we've already done a vote on Pixar. So those two winners already went through. So to recap, our winner for the best or favorite Marvel project was Spider-Man No Way Home. And our winner for the best Pixar movie was Ratatouille. So to get started, we worked with the two brackets, first Disney animation. And in the final four for Disney animation, we had Hercules at number eight, beating number five, Tangled, to move on to the first semifinal. And we had number six, Aladdin, defeating number seven, Zootopia, to meet up in the next semifinal or to the finals. So in between those, between number eight Hercules and number six Aladdin came out as the best or favorite Disney animated movie for this fall semester. On the other side of the bracket, when we went with Disney live action, and this one had a little bit of discussion and controversy among the students because of the movies that I had included and some of the movies I hadn't included. And as I've said in the past, and I told them, this is the bracket that is the most difficult to keep up with because when I first started this, the Disney animated, a lot of the movies that were included were the movies included like from my childhood when I was watching from my childhood and even back into the 60s and 70s, like the really old original classic movies in my opinion. And then I had to update those because people hadn't seen a lot of those movies. And then this semester in particular, I got asked why Beauty and the Beast, the live action remake, wasn't on there, why other live action remakes were not on there. So that's another interesting thing because the fandom is so divided on should Disney be making these live action remakes or not, with some people, especially the people who grew up with and saw those classics in the theaters, like Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast during the Disney Renaissance. Should those be made or not? A lot of people feel, some of those people feel like maybe they shouldn't. It seems as though this semester, at least, the students in the class really wanted more of those. And so they're in favor of taking from that. It seems like they're in favor of these live action remakes. So on this side of the bracket, the final four in Disney live action, number one, number one, Mary Poppins was up against number four Hamilton, and number four Hamilton moved on. Then number three, The Greatest Showman, defeated number seven, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So between Hamilton and The Greatest Showman, number four Hamilton moved on. They became the best or favorite Disney live action movie. So what that means is between the four movies. We had Aladdin from from Disney Classic Animated and Spider-Man No Way Home from Marvel, and those two went against each other. Spider-Man No Way Home moved on from that matchup. And then in the other matchup, it was Hamilton from Disney live action versus Ratatouille from the best or favorite Pixar vote earlier in the semester. And Ratatouille moved on, or I'm sorry, Ratatouille moved on from that. And then finally, between Spider-Man No Way Home and Ratatouille, Spider-Man No Way Home was the winner. So that is the first time Spider-Man No Way Home won the best or favorite Marvel project. It is also obviously the first time Spider-Man No Way Home won the best or favorite Disney movie for the fall of 2024 semester. So, very, very interesting conversation. As always say, I love talking about these projects with the students. It really gets into some really, really cool and good conversation. And it shows me some of the differences in my fandom, other people's fandoms, and what I'm hearing online and when I'm talking to friends of the class, and people that are taking the class. It's always really, really interesting. So the second thing I want to talk about is the big announcement that came out of Disney parks a week and a half ago. And it has to do with Disney's Hollywood Studios and the new the new Monsters Incorporated land is in fact going to take over Muppets Courtyard and Muppet Vision 3D. Now, before everybody got too up in arms about it, the company also put out a statement saying they're looking at ways to continue using Muppet Vision 3D, or how can that be used in the future. And so what's really, really interesting is back in D23 when this was announcement was made, I talked about it afterwards, and I really thought that the project and hoped that the project Monsters Incorporated land would go into Animation Courtyard because I felt like that was the more underutilized part of the park. However, if you listened to Lou Mangello, he talked with Becky Macon about how Muppets Courtyard was actually a pretty good place for it because of all the things that were already in Muppets Courtyard. It already had a restaurant. It already had a lot of the buildings that could be retrofitted or could be renovated for a new attraction. So that's where Monsters Incorporated land will be. So yes, Muppets Courtyard will not be there. Muppet Vision 3D will no longer be there. That will all be rethemed to a Monsters Incorporated land. However, the Muppets are not gone out of Hollywood Studios. Um, and I will talk about this more in another video that I do about my visit um, to Walt Disney World a week and a half ago because I was there to research, or I'm sorry, I was there to present at a conference. I also did some research on the use of the mobile applications for a broader project that I'm doing. And so, but basically, when I was there, one of the rides I rode at Hollywood Studios, actually for the second time ever, was Rockin Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. And then the next day when I was at the conference, is when I saw the Disney Parks blog post about Muppet Courtyard being rethemed into Monsters Incorporated, and then the Muppets and the Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, they are actually going to take over Rockin Roller Coaster. So Rockin Roller Coaster will be rethemed to the Muppets. I know this is something that a lot of people have been hoping for at times, have been speculating about. It would either be the Muppets, it could be Powerline from the Goofy movie, or something like that if they ever rethemed that roller coaster. So that's what it looks like they're going to do. They are going to retheme Rockin' Roller Coaster. It will no longer be set and themed around Aerosmith. It'll be themed around the Muppets. And so what's really interesting about that really quickly is um, when the company talked about looking at ways to use Muppet Vision 3D and Muppet Vision 3D not being completely over in the parks, some people speculated, hey, would they possibly put that in the queue for the Muppets roller coaster when they retheme it? The one issue with that is for people that do not ride roller coasters, people who they are not able to for physical reasons, for health reasons, um, would they be able to still see that attraction in the queue, that show in the queue, and not be able to get on the roller coaster? And further, uh, because it would probably be something in a pre-show area, right? Sort of like where the pre-show for Rockin Roller Coaster is now, where you walk into the studio and you see Aerosmith having to hurry off to a concert. Would that be where this would be in the attraction? If that's the case, people who are not going to ride the roller coaster and know they're not going to ride the roller coaster, they're still going to have to be waiting a long time to get into that pre-show. Would there in the pre-show for Muppet Vision 3D, that's a lot longer than the current pre-show in Rockin' Roller Coaster right now. So there would be some logistical issues right there. Are they going to put that show somewhere else? We now know the more information about the villain show that's going into where uh, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy was. So there is more information about that. There definitely is a villain show going into there. It's not like the Muppets are going to be taking that over. So to summarize the second point, um, I will say what I thought slash what I hoped would happen is not what happened. That's what makes these things fun, seeing how many times you're right versus how many more times you're incorrect about something. Also, I had shared with people that I thought it would be really, really cool if an announcement was made that Muppets Courtyard was going to be turned into Monsters Incorporated. And then at the quote unquote 11th hour, the Muppets have kind of a telethon or something or a show to save Muppets Courtyard and Muppet Vision 3D. This would obviously be something that the company would have planned and been a big promotional marketing key for the area. Um, and it would go along with, the movies and everything that the Muppets have done. That doesn't seem like that's going to happen because of the announcement of Muppets taking over Rockin' Roller Coaster. So it's fun to see if you are correct. Most of the time, you're incorrect about something. It seemingly was. I was very incorrect about this and what I thought would happen, what I hoped would happen, what I thought would be fun. And now a message from Cody's Inner Dialogue.
Hey, Cody,
Yeah, what's up, Inner Dialogue?
I got 2 ideas for you to help promote the podcast and the books.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can't wait to hear them. What are they? I'm sure they're going to be as good as the theme song you tried to develop.
Hey, that theme song was awesome. I can't help you didn't like it.
I don't think anybody would like that. Let's just what are your other 2 ideas?
Well, first, here. I made a logo.
You made a logo.
Yeah, take a look.
Okay.
Looks pretty good, huh?
Well, okay. 2 issues. One, this is a podcast, an audio podcast, so listeners aren't going to see this.
Well, no, but you're going to start using it. You're going to use that as the new logo.
Nope. No, I'm not.
Why not?
I don't know how to say this without hurting your feelings.
Oh, I can take it.
Okay, fine. I'm not going to use it because it's not any good.
What?
See, I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
It's amazing. I can't believe you said that.
It's okay. Inner Dialogue, what's your second idea?
Oh, you're going to love this one.
I'm sure I am.
Okay, so you know how you rebranded things to be Being a Fan of Disney, the podcast, and Being a Fan of Disney, the book, and Being a Fan of Disney, the class.
Yeah.
I think it's time you rebrand yourself.
Huh?
Yeah. I think you change your name to Being a Fan of Disney, the guy.
Oh, no.
Why not?
Being a fan of Disney, the guy? No, I'm not going to do that for many, many reasons, okay?
Name one.
No. Well, first,
My name is Cody. That's how people have known me my whole life. I'm not gonna change my name. It's good for the podcast though. Yeah, I'm not gonna change my name. I'm sorry. Okay. Remember, everyone, being a fan of Disney, the book is available on Amazon, and the Prospectus Files is available on Kindle Vella. Please check them both out. Um, yeah, thanks for your ideas and our dialogue. Yeah, they're pretty impressive, aren't they? Not in the least, but thanks for your time. All right, back to our show, everyone.
So the third thing I want to talk about is ESPN being added to Disney Plus. So now on Wednesday morning, sorry, December 4th, if you logged on to Disney Plus, you now saw a total of seven tabs. You saw the five tabs that are along the top of the app already, the Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic. And then the Hulu app was beside that. If you are a subscriber to the Disney Plus Hulu bundle, or if you have Disney Plus and you have Hulu separately, but they use the same email address, then Hulu you can now access through Disney Plus. Tuesday morning, they added an ESPN tile to Disney Plus. So now there are these seven tiles on Disney Plus. What's really, really interesting about ESPN, I'm not a current subscriber to ESPN Plus. We will at times subscribe to it for a month or 2 or 3 months, and then we'll cut it off. When college baseball season comes up, we will be subscribers to ESPN Plus again. So even for me as a non-subscriber, what I see is I can go into the ESPN tile and I can look at curated shows from ESPN. A lot of those are like Pardon the Interruption. The ESPN 30 for 30s were already on Disney Plus, but a lot of the live shows that would be on ESPN, you can now watch on ESPN Plus. Also, something really, really cool that I saw is because I do not have ESPN Plus, because I am technically if you are a Disney Plus standalone subscriber, because remember, I don't have the Disney bundle. I have Disney Plus, I have Hulu, but they're under the same, I use the same email address, but they're separate subscriptions for those two. So if you're a Disney Plus, um, subscriber who doesn't have ESPN Plus, if you're a standalone subscriber, then you have access to select live programming through the ESPN app. And so last night I was able to watch a little bit of an NHL game between the Seattle Kraken and the New York Islanders. And it seems like almost every night, sometimes it skips a night here or there. There is one live sports program that you can watch on Disney Plus through the ESPN app. So that's really, really interesting because it's not the full ESPN Plus app. Anybody who's been on ESPN Plus probably uses it mostly because it covers maybe sports that you want to watch, or it covers teams that you want to watch. That's why during college baseball season, we really like watching college baseball. So we add ESPN Plus because there's a lot of college baseball on ESPN Plus. Um, it's not that you don't have access to everything ESPN Plus has. You're not even able to see what ESPN Plus has on it with an option to then upgrade to ESPN Plus. However, what you are able to do, you are able to see a little bit of what ESPN offers, which is interesting because you can watch this. And even though it's not the full ESPN Plus lineup, if there's something that you're watching and you're interested in, then it kind of whets that appetite a little bit, and maybe will lead someone into becoming a subscriber for ESPN Plus. And this is all building up to fall 2025 launch of the ESPN standalone service as well, which will be able to be included in the Disney Plus bundle in the Disney Plus app. At that point, what I imagine you will see on Disney Plus is what you see now, but when you click on the ESPN tile, you'll have certain things that are curated that you can watch included from your Disney Plus subscription. most things, if you click on them, you'll probably get a message that says, do you want to subscribe? Do you want to upgrade to ESPN Plus? Do you want to upgrade to your ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, or ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu bundle, things like that. This is something I thought would need to happen. ESPN and ESPN Plus do not have the number of subscribers that Disney Plus has. They don't have the number of subscribers that Hulu has. So this is a good way to expose people to ESPN and the ESPN Plus app and see a few things of what you can do. I still think it would be interesting to be able to have access to the full ESPN Plus app and that experience with most of those programs. If you click on those, then you're given the option to upgrade. I think that could drive more people to selecting and upgrading to ESPN Plus. But this is a pretty neat feature, I think, and it's a feature I thought and I hoped they would implement when Hulu was first available on Disney Plus, which they didn't. If you were not a if you were not a subscriber to the bundle, or you didn't have Hulu and Disney Plus using the same email address but separate accounts, um, just naturally, someone who was only a Disney Plus subscriber could not see the Hulu tile. You could see, again, certain programs from Hulu that were just included in Disney Plus, but you didn't see the Hulu tile. I think more and more of this will be happening. Um, I, in the future, would even expect possibly to see the Max tile on Disney Plus, even if you're not a subscriber to Max, because these are all ways to try and get people to subscribe to more. And if you remember throughout this whole conversation about streaming, people at first didn't want cable because they would offer too much that people weren't watching. People wanted a la carte. And so now that people were given a la carte, then people started looking at how can we combine some of these things. We want to find things all in one place. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, right? People realize that they want things in more and want more things in one place that they can access. At the same time, these companies don't want people leaving their app to have to go to another app. I've talked about before, if you were Disney Plus, you were watching Disney Plus, and then you went over and you wanted to watch something on Hulu. There was the risk for the company that you could stumble across something on Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, or Netflix, and then they've lost you for however long you're watching those programs on those services. So this is a way to keep you in this app and to keep you in this universe. I would expect more and more of this to happen because now we kind of are seeing this shift in real time from we had the cable model to a la carte. Now we want bundling again. We are quickly approaching the old cable model, just everything on streaming rather than over linear television or cable television, right? So those are the three things I wanted to talk about. I tried to do it quickly, probably not as quickly as I intended, but three interesting things that happened from the class, from my trip last week, and from the announcement made this week with Disney Plus and ESPN being included on the Disney Plus app. So again, I will give a longer description of my trip to Walt Disney World and what I was doing there and my experiences. There are some pretty interesting insights I was able to get from that trip. That will be coming out in a future episode. And I hope you enjoyed this. And thanks a lot. Have a great day.